rural crime is soaring. It was up to £45 million last year, and farmers across the UK are resorting to medieval methods to try and protect their equipment. According to the insurance company NFU Mutual, some farmers, as well as using modern technologies such as CCTV, floodlighting and motion sensors, have also built trenches to protect their properties against a growing wave of vehicle, equipment and livestock theft by organised gangs. Ian White reports.
It's an idea that comes from medieval times, moving mounds of earth to create trenches, ditches and barriers to stop criminals getting onto farmland. This scheme in Gloucestershire is encouraged by the police and is provided free of charge by local companies.
This year we're seeing people bring in things like earth banks, the sort of medieval fortifications last used 1,000 years ago. They're putting up stockade-like fences around their farms and using these in conjunction with high-tech security like CCTV.
As you can see, Ian, here we are on top of a hill, a mile over that hilltop, and you're into West Yorkshire and Keighley.
Yorkshire sheep farmer David Airy knows only too well what it's like to be targeted by criminals. His farm in Craven spans 5 miles across 3 counties, and thieves come at him from all directions.
In the last sort of 18 months, it has got beyond a joke. We were being visited at least once a fortnight. I would put it down to 2 different groups. One group were pinching tools and small items, but our biggest problem is our quad bikes.
With equipment costing hundreds of thousands of pounds being kept in remote, isolated areas, sophisticated, sometimes dangerous gangs of criminals know exactly what they're looking for.
We know organised crime gangs are working not just across Europe but across the world, and that will be paying for other things. That will be paying for large quantities of drugs to come back in. That will be paying for debts to be paid off. That will be paying for firearms smuggling.
Different police forces have different priorities, so there's a lack of joined-up thinking when it comes to tackling rural crime. The government says police funding will increase by over £460 million this year, with around £280 million going directly to forces to spend on local priorities.
What we're trying to do is make sure that it's harder in every place for criminals to make profit and to make people safer by working effectively together, understanding what our tactics are and understanding, as we're finding today, what works, what kit is good for this, and how do we give our officers the best opportunity to chase after criminals.
The fear now is that if the police can't help, farmers could be tempted to take the law into their own hands.
God help me if I ever caught one in the act, you know, and it's wrong, but, you know, I couldn't say what I would do to him.
Every chief constable in England has now signed up to a national plan to tackle rural crime. But the police say farmers too must do more to keep their property safe. Ian White, BBC News.